Right, I'm going to try something new. It involves this, my favourite. And I'm sorry, but yes, it will involve this. And I am going to, if I can, diamond paint and read at the same time. I'll do it a chapter at a time. Bear in mind, this is the first book. So I'm just going to do it so you get a glimpse of what I am so addicted to. And if you get a chance, see it on YouTube, The Untamed, but don't go for the special edition version, because that one's done in a completely weird format, wrong way round. Right, let's just clean my glasses. I've got to get it in a position where I can see it and I'm not blinded. And I do say in advance, please forgive me for some of the pronunciations, because some of them are Chinese. Well, a lot of them are Chinese. Well, basically all in the book's going to be Chinese, and I'm not too good on Chinese, but I do know some. Right, so let's get my colour first that I'm going to use. I'm going to do X. X marks the spot. 995. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. Right, this could all go horribly wrong. What do you think the chances are? Right. Oh God, my glasses, my eyesight. Oh dear. Right. Rejoice, Wei Shen is dead. It hadn't been a day since the siege of the burial mound, and the news had already flown across the entire cultivation world as if it had sprouted wings. The speed was only comparable to how fast the flames of war had spread back then, if not faster. Suddenly everyone, whether they were prominent clans or rogue cultivators, and discussing this operation of vanquishment that had been led by the 4 great clans and attended by hundreds of sects, both big and small. Fantastic, fantastic indeed. Who was the hero who killed the Yiling patriarch? That is annoying me, that paper. Who else could it be? Ain't it his shiddy, the little sect leader, Jiang Cheng? The 4 major clans fronted the attack. The Jan clan of Yunming, the Jin clan of Langling. I've got to do something with this. This is annoying me. It's too flipping loud, so I will peel it off and I will put some of these on because it's just too noisy. Peeling it down. Oops, get on there. Two. Right, we're nearly done. Said it would be a bit of a... Right, here we go. Hopefully I won't end up... And that should have been up a bit more. Oh, well, I've got another piece here. Right, so... Right. There we go. Am I in shot still? Kind of really need to roll that up. But I'll just have to do. Right, so here we go. Right. So where we go. The 4 major clans fronted the attack. The Jan clan of young men, the Jing clan of Langling, and the Lang clan of Gusu, and the Ni clan of, oh God, Qing. I think that's Qing. It is now. Okay. Crushing family for the greater good, they destroyed Wei Wuxian's good old lair, the burial mound. Ah, poor Wei Wuxian. I must say, well done. Someone immediately clapped and exclaimed in agreement. That's right, well done. If it wasn't for the Jiang clan of Yunmeng, who took him in and raised him, then Wei Wuxian would have been a no-name street rat in the countryside. Oh dear. Never mind becoming anything else. The former Jiang sect leader raised him like his own son, eh? But look at him, publicly defecting from the clan, making himself an enemy of the world. He's embarrassed the Jiang clan of young men utterly and almost doomed them to the same fate of extermination. What you call a traitor? Him. Oh, look, I missed one of those. I had to get him the other day, two of them. So him. I can't believe Jiang Cheng allowed that guy to run amok for so long. If it were me, I would have just stabbed him when he first defected. I would have cleaned house. He wouldn't have even gotten the chance to do all those crazy things. All well in hindsight, isn't it? What does a child's friendship matters when facing people like him? Where did that drop to? Just dropped one. Well, that's not what I heard, though. Didn't Wei Ying's demonic cultivation backfire, causing him to be ripped apart and devoured by the ghosts under his command? I heard he was chewed to pieces while still alive. Hearsay. Ha 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 ha. That's what you call karma. I've wanted to say this for a long time now. But those ghost generals he raised were like a pack of unleashed mad dogs, biting people everywhere. And in the end, he got bit to death himself. Well deserved. Be that as it may, if the little Jiang sect leader hadn't been the only one to plan the siege based on the Yiling Patriarch's weakness, then success would have been difficult to guarantee. Don't forget that Wei Wuxian had in his clutches, or how over 3,000 renowned cultivators were all completely annihilated that night. Wasn't it 5,000? 3,000, 5,000. They're all the same. 5,000 is more believable. He really is completely mad. He destroyed the Yin Tiger Tally before he died, so he gets at least some credit for that. If that evil thing was left to cause harm in the world, his sins would only deepen. The moment the Yin Tiger Tally was mentioned, there was suddenly silence, as if everyone was very wary of something. A moment later, someone sighed. Man, speaking of that, Wei Wuxian, he used to be a young master in an extremely affluent and distinguished cultivation sect back then. It wasn't like he had no accomplishments. He gained great success in his youth. How glorious and unbridled he was. How did he end up in this path? The subject changed, and the voices were raised again in heated discussion. It's obvious from this case that the path of cultivation must always follow the righteous way. The demonic path is only glorious for the moment. You think it looks glamorous. Hey, look where that got him. Death without a corpse. A voice replied forcefully. It's not all because of the cultivation path. At the end of the day, it's still because Wei Wuxian was someone of bad character. Oh, poor baby. He roused the wrath of the heavens and the grudges of men. You know what they say, what goes round comes round. The heavens are watching. After Wei Wuxian's death, judgment of his character was no longer refutable. The discussions were mostly the same, and any small voice of dissent was immediately squashed. However, gloom still firmly enveloped everyone's minds. Although the Yiling Patriarch, Wei Wuxian, had died at the burial mound, the remnants of his soul couldn't be summoned. Perhaps his soul had also been ripped apart and devoured by the millions of ghosts, or perhaps it had escaped. The former would naturally be a joyous occasion for the entire world. However, the Yielding Patriarch had the ability to topple the earth and move mountains and seas. At least, that was what the legend said. It would be no great task for him to resist soul summoning if he desired it. If his spirit returned in the future, if he took over a body and was reincarnated, then the cultivation world, the entire mortal world, in fact, would be cursed to face even greater vengeance, sinking into an endless storm of darkness and blood. And so, when the 120 stone beasts required to seal the mountain were set down at the peak of the burial mounds, every major clan began conducting frequent soul-summoning rituals. They also strictly monitored for cases of possession, sought far and wide for abnormal occurrences, and heightened their security to the max. In the first year, all was peaceful. In the second year, all was peaceful. In the third year, all was peaceful. In the 13th year, it was still peaceful. Thus more and more people finally came to believe that perhaps WiP had not been that amazing after all. Maybe he really had perished. Even though he had once turned the world upside down, there had at last come a day when he was the one overturned. No one would be worshipped on the divine altar forever. Legends were merely legends. And that's the end of the first chapter. So what do you reckon, eh? Do we continue? Yeah, we will. I don't know about reading the second chapter, mind, because there's quite a lot of it. Yeah. But, I mean, the first chapter, wow. It's so good. Okay, I'll read on a little bit further and I'll try and diamond paint at the same time. It's proving hard because I've got to look and find where I am again, and then find where I am again, then read and then place. Right, but anyway, here we go. Episode 2, The Intractable. WiP had only just opened his eyes when someone kicked him. A voice thundered in his ears. Playing dead? He almost coughed up blood from the kick. His head hit the ground, and with his face turned up, he thought hazily, "You've got a nerve, don't it, to kick me, the patriarch?" WiP had already lost count of the number of years it had been since he last heard a live person speak. Never mind such awful caterwauling. He was dizzy, and the cracked voice of a young man was rattling between his ears. Think for a moment. Whose land you're living on, whose rice you're eating, and whose money you're spending. So what if I took a few things of yours? They should have been mine in the first place. Soon after, there was the clamouring noise of chests and cabinets alike being ransacked. It was a good moment before WiP's eyes could focus. A dim ceiling came into view, as did an unfortunate-looking face with a greedy glare. That face was spraying spittle all over him. "And you dare go tattle on me? You think I'm actually afraid of you tattling? Do you actually think anyone in this house would take your side?" Two large men who looked like servants came over. "Young master, everything's smashed." "So fast?" the quacking youth questioned. There wasn't much stuff in this broken shack anyway," the servant replied. The quacking youth was extremely pleased. He turned to WiP, pointing so hard at the man that he was practically jabbing his finger up his nose and into his brain. "Go and tell on me, I dare you. Who are you playing dead for? As if anyone would actually give a crap about all this junk and waste paper. I've smashed everything. Let's see what you've got to tattle on me with. Think you're all that just because you went to a cultivation sect for a few years? Well, didn't get you kicked out like a stray dog anyway." Presently half dead, WiP thought to himself, "It's not pretend. I've actually been dead for many years." Who was this? Where was this? When had he ever done anything like forcibly possess the bodies of another? After having kicked the man, ransacked the house and spent all his temper, the quacking youth strutted out of the door along with his 2 servants, slamming the door behind him. He ordered in a loud voice, "Keep proper watch. Don't let him come out to embarrass people." Have I got any more X's? Nope, I haven't. Once the man had gone, the servants outside the door all heeded. Once the man was gone, silence settled both inside and out of the house. Wei Wuxian wanted to sit up, but his limbs would not obey him, so he lay back down and flipped over. His head continued to spin as it looked at the strange surroundings and the mess on the floor. Next to him was a copper mirror that had been tossed onto the ground, and Wei Wuxian snatched it up. A dreadfully pale face appeared in the mirror. 2 large blots of red were smeared unevenly on each cheek, as if it were to stick out a long and visible red tongue. Then he'd be the very picture of a hanged ghost. Fair enough. Let's try and find W. It's not in order. What a pain in the bottinsky. W. There's W. Right. Wei Wuxian tossed the mirror aside, a little disgusted. He wiped his face and found his hand smeared with white powder. Fortunately, it wasn't that this body had been born strange, but rather the penchant of the previous owner, a full-grown man with a face heavily caked in makeup and sloppily applied at that. This shocked some energy back into Wei Wuxian, who was finally able to sit up. Only then did he notice the circle of a spell array beneath him. The array was scarlet and crooked, seemingly hand-drawn using blood as the medium. It was still damp, emitting a metallic stench. There were warped and crazed spells drawn within the array that had somewhat smudged by its body, but the remaining shapes and characters were gruesome in their evil intent. Wei Wuxian had been called the titles such as Supreme Evil, Evil Lord, the GrandMaster of Demonic Cultivation, and whatnot for years. So naturally, he was very familiar with obviously devious arrays such as these. It wasn't that he was robbed anyone of their body. He had been offered one. The nature of this sacrificial ritual was the type of curse. The caster was to harm themselves with a weapon, making cuts on their body and using their own blood to draw an array and write the spells within. They would then sit in the centre of the circle and give up their mortal body to evil spirits, using the annihilation of their soul as the price to summon a nefarious, malicious ghost. This was all done in the order to request the fulfilment of a wish. Thus was the opposite of possession. While both were forbidden magic of ill repute, the difference was that the former was much less popular than the latter. After all, few wishes were so strongly desired as to make someone willingly sacrifice everything they had. This was why the technique had been nearly lost for centuries of disuse. The examples recorded in ancient books had only a handful of cases that were backed by reliable evidence, and every single one of them had been for revenge. Every malicious ghost summoned by the ritual had fulfilled the caster's wishes perfectly in cruel and bloody ways. Oh dear. Oh, there goes one of them. That's the true demon of GrandMaster of Demonic Cultivation. Hey, Desi. Right. Wei Wuxian refused to accept this. Since when was he categorised as a nefarious, malicious ghost? While he had fairly poor reputation and died an extremely tragic death, he didn't haunt the living, for one, and he never sought vengeance, for two. He could swear that there was not a single wandering ghost in this world who was more decent and honest than he. But the tough thing was that the sacrificial ritual followed the will of the caster first and foremost. So it didn't matter much how he objected. He was already inside this body, which was silently acknowledgement that both parties had formed a contract. He had to fulfill the wish of the caster, or the curse would rebound, destroying the possessor's primordial spirit and extinguishing it forever. Wei Wuxian yanked his sash loose and raised his arms to inspect them. Sure enough, both of his wrists had been slashed with a sharp tool, leaving them covered in crisscrossing lacerations. The bleeding had already stopped, but Wei Wuxian knew these were not normal injuries. If he didn't fulfill the caster's wish, then these wounds would be unable to heal and worsen they would worsen the longer this dragged on. If the deadline for fulfillment was missed, then he who had accepted this vessel would be ripped apart in both body and soul alike. Golly. He triple-checked that there was no mistake and cried, "This is ridiculous," mentally 10 times before finally rising to his feet with difficulty, supporting himself against the wall. This house certainly was big, but it was empty and shabby. The bedding was emitting a sour smell. Who knew how many days had gone by since it was last changed? There was a bamboo basket for trash in the corner that had been kicked over earlier, and both trash and waste paper was strewn across the floor. Wei Wuxian noticed that there seemed to be ink marks on the crumpled papers, so picked one up in passing. He opened it to take a look, and sure enough, it was covered in words. I wonder what kind of words they were. No, they don't make me read them. He quickly went around to collect all the balls of paper. These were probably written by the owner of this body to vent his frustrations. Some of the sentences were incoherent and disordered, but the anxiety and nervousness were abundantly clear. Wei Wuxian patiently examined each sheet, and the more he looked, the more he felt something was amiss. Through some guesswork, he figured out a few things. First, the owner of this body was named Mo Shanyu, and this place was called the Mo Estate. Mo Shanyu's grandfather on his mother's side was from a rich family in the area. The family wasn't large, and the man was not fated for a son after years of trying. But still only had 2 daughters. The name of the second daughter wasn't mentioned, but either way, the eldest daughter was born of the lawful wife. Thus, they were looking for a husband to marry into their family name. Although the second daughter was exceptional in appearance, she was born of a servant, which was why the Mo family had originally planned to marry her out without giving much thought to the groom. Who would have thought she was fated for a fortuitous encounter? Ooh. When she was 16, the head of a prominent clan was passing by and fell in love with her at first sight. That's a little bit, what's it called? Prince came riding by. The two made the Mo Manor the site of their rendezvous, and a year later the second daughter gave birth to a son. This was Mo Shanyu. The inhabitants of the Mo estate would normally have held such an event in contempt, but people at the time worshipped cultivators. In the eyes of the mundane folk, cultivation clans that pursued immortality were loved by the heavens, mysterious and noble. Furthermore, that prominent clan leader would financially support this new outer family branch of his every so often. So naturally, these circumstances were special. Very special, eh? Not only did the Mo family consider this an honour, but others were extremely envious too. However, the good days did not last. That wandering clan leader was only hungry for the novelty of fresh meat, and he was over it after 2 years, coming to visit less and less frequently. After Mo Shan-yu turned 4, the man never appeared again. In those passing years, the Mo estate's opinion changed again. The contempt and mockery returned, now with added disdain and pity. Second Lady Mo refused to accept this, believing firmly that the prominent clan leader would not turn a blind eye to his own son. And sure enough, when Mo Shan-yu turned 14, that clan leader sent over a grand party to officially take him back. Oh, I need to get some more doodah in this. Second Lady Mo's head was held high again, although she could not go with them. This event swept away all the grievances she had. Feeling proud and elevated, she proclaimed proudly to everyone that she saw that her son would definitely become a leader of the cultivation sects in the future, rise to the top and bring glory to the ancestors. Oh dear. Thus the people of the Mo estate changed their opinion for the 3rd time. However, Mo Shan-yu was driven out before he managed to cultivate a claim and succeed his father, and driven out in the most shameful way. Mo Shan-yu was a cut sleeve, a male homosexual, and he was so audacious as to harass his fellow peers. With this scandal exposed and the fact that he possessed only average talent and no real achievements in cultivation, the sect had no reason to keep him. Adding frost to snow, something had upset Mo Shan-yu when he returned home. It was as a madman. His mental state had been upended as if he had been scared silly. Having read to this point, Wei Wuxian's brow twitched a couple of times. Now, the story of the cut sleeve is that many, many years ago, there was an emperor who had a male lover, because back then in the day, it was natural that they took whatever, you know, male, female, didn't matter. And he had a male lover, and his male lover was sleeping next to his bed, and was lying on the emperor's sleeve. And so instead of waking his lover, he basically cut his sleeve so he could get up and not wake him. And that's why it's called cut sleeve, and that's why it's linked to male lovers, homosexuality, etc. Get in there. The cut sleeve matter aside, the man was a lunatic too. No wonder he had smeared enough powder on his face to look like a hanged ghost. No wonder no one thought it strange there was such a large bloody spell array on the ground. Mo Shan-yu could probably smear blood all over this house from the floor tiles up the walls and the ceiling, and no one would think it weird. Oh dear, I've lost my place. No one would think it weird because everyone knew he was crazy. After Mo Shan-yu returned to his old home, he was bombarded with ridicule. This time it seemed the situation was unsalvageable. Unable to take this blow, Second Lady Mo was choked to death by her own unappeasable outrage. At this time, Mo Shan-yu's grandfather had already passed, and the one managing the household was First Lady Mo. This Madame Mo had never been able to stand her little sister, and she scorned the sister's bastard son. She had a single son herself by the name of Mo Ziyang, the one who had just ransacked Mo Shan-yu's house. When Mo Shan-yu first left with such impressive fanfare, First Lady Mo had felt they now possessed something of a family tie to the prominent cultivation sect, and had hoped the cultivator envoys would bring Mo Ziyang, oh God, here we go, Ziyang, along with them too. Of course, she had been rejected, or rather ignored. Right, I'm going to stop there on reading because I can't read and do this, but I shall read a bit more at another time when I've got a little bit more sorted. Right, now let's get back to this. But that is the Master of Demonic... Oh, God. The GrandMaster of Demonic Cultivation. it's very, very hard to read and paint at the same time. And even harder when some of the writing is Chinese and they have a different way of doing it. I mean, like we have, say quiet is QU. So after every Q, there's a U usually. But in Chinese, there's no U. It's just Q. Quirin. So, yeah, so it's awkward then, because then you look at the word and you think, hold on a minute, what's that? How do I pronounce that? And when you've got Q, U, I, N, G, H, E, quingy, it's not how it sounds. So actually, at the back of this book, there is a little thingy-jig telling us how to, character name guide. Right, how to say things, come on. I'm sure there was a bit in here. Pronunciation, here we go. Right, so to read Q-I-N-G-Q-I-U, which is that quingy, knee quingy of quingy or whatever it is, it's pronounced ching. So Q is ching, ching chio, ching chio, ching chio, ching chio, ching chio. So it's knee of the Ching Chio sect. Bloody hell. Oh dear. Oh well. I suppose I have to keep that open at some point. Yeah. So X, if there's an X, it's similar to the English word sh. So so shao, wang wei wu sham, xian, wei wu xian. So instead of wei wu xian, it's wei wu xian. The Q is similar to the English word ch, and C is similar to the English ts. IU is yo, UO is wu, ZHI is dr, CHI is tr, ch, SHI is sh, RI is r, ZI is z, CI is ts, SI is s. Oh God, U. When follows A, Y, J, Q or X, the sound is actually oo, E, pronounced like E, with your lips rounded like oo, ooey, E. Oh God, this applies for Yuan, Yan, Jun. Oh, well, I think we might have some fun and games with that, mightn't we? Right. Back to the diamond painting. Back to what we're all here for. Is this you? Yeah. Yeah. But I do love it. I mean, if you get to watch it, it is amazing. It really is. Oh, I haven't done much today. I've been rested. Because I've basically had no energy. I did a spot of tidying up. Oh, and I got some of my, I think, was it the rest of my Christmas presents have arrived today. So I've got to finish wrapping those up, but I probably won't because, I mean, they're mainly for my grandson. One of them's, 3 of them of my grandson. Actually, I've got 2 that I've got to wrap up for my grandson. Or I might have Oh no, it's only one I've got to wrap up for my grandson, and one for my son-in-law's brother, and Timber, and the other 3 for my grandson. I don't need to wrap up because they're things like nappies, Infocol, and a bottle. Oh dear, go up there. So I must phone up my daughter later on and find out what's happening. What is the plan of event? You know, I've got to prepare the cat. Don't know whether the cat's going to stay in or be out, because I've got no one to. I mean, it's only going to be one day and one night, and a little bit of the next day. So, I mean, I haven't got any cat litter, sadly. But she's got a bowl upstairs which she can use. But then I think she might stay out. I think I might kick her out, actually, because she can help herself. She goes into other people's houses. I'll put some cat food out for her. Yeah, I think that's what might happen. I have to do. She's done it before where she stayed out and she's been absolutely fine. And yes, she's sulked when she's come back in and done a little bit like that, but you know, it's only a little, you know. Well, we will see. Right. This painting is Benedict Blue. I did an unboxing of it and a kitting up, and now I'm making it. I very nearly decided I was going to do Nuzzling Wolves. And I know I've got loads that are on the go already, but you know, that's how it goes. I mean, I've got the holiday shop one, but that's massive. And it's a bit boring if I do that every day. So I've packed that away for now. And I thought I'd do this for a bit. All right, let's do Ease. We find Ease. This is all in flipping DMC code, so it's trying to find it. Capital E. God, it's warm again. I always get warm when I'm right next to the fridge for some strange reason. Mind you, the fridge gets quite warm on the side. Ah, there's Ease. Ease. Let's get them out, what I need. 8 equals percentage. C. One of those. 5. Oh look, I missed a W. W plus and J for now. J and plus. There we go. Right, let's do J. Oh, yes, I forgot. Some of these were very full. Right. Right, yes. Have I got my little fan here? No, I haven't. Damn, it's at my office. I would have taken that with me. I'm going to have to sit with the window open then in bed. Because I usually go to sleep with a fan on. I don't sleep when I'm hot. Well, yes. Can't believe it. Christmas Eve tomorrow. Where's this year gone? I know I've said it so many times, but it's true. Where has it gone? It's crazy. Get in there. Now I've got to try and do this. Get it all in. Get the lid on. Way. Right. I was going to do that 1W that I missed. Oh, and I missed that one as well. W. U. Whoops. 1, 2. I think that's those. Oh, I want that one. Nice little purple. Not many. Golly. Oops, get in. Yeah. So what do you think of Modao Zushi's GrandMaster of Demonic Cultivation? Now the untamed version of that, which is on Netflix and it's on YouTube. I first watched it on YouTube. Is done by the people, real people, and so that's Wei Wuxian, the GrandMaster of Demonic Cultivation, is played by Xiao Zhan in the Untamed, and Lan Wangji is played by Wang Yibo, and they are both, you know, very good. The chemistry is amazing. That 828 is very sparkly. Strange. Right, equals. Yeah, so it's but it's definitely wonderful to read, you know. So it goes along the lines of the story of Wei Wuxian, mainly from his point of view, and is going to the Gusu clan at some point for classes with his brother, and there he meets the Lan Wangji or Hang Wanjun. And yes, so a lot of them there have 3 names, so they're sort of like interchangeable. Now the 3 names are, let's just sort this out now, because, right, there we go. Where is it? Right, here we go. Main characters. Wei Wuxian. His birth name is Wei Ying. And his courtesy name, because they all get given a courtesy name, is Wei Wuxian. So it's Wei Ying, Wei Wuxian. So they're his names, and they usually have 3 names. Oh, I can't. Oh, right. So they have a sobriquet, whatever that means. And so Wei Ying is Wei Ying, Wei Wuxian, and the Yiling Patriarch. So their title. So the birth name is the name that close people say to them, you know. Things like mother, family, loved ones will call him by that name. And then they have a courtesy name which everyone uses, you know. It's like Mr. whatever, you know. So the birth name is more like nickname type things. And then the sobriquet is sobriquet, or whoever it is their title kind of thing. So Lan Wangji, his birth name is Lan Zhan. His courtesy name is Lan Wangji. And sobriquet name is Han Guanjun. And they haven't gone into oh yeah, they have done for some, they haven't done it for others. So Lan Sijue, they've got birth name Lan Yuan, courtesy name Lan Shizhu, yeah. Zhang Cheng, Zhang Wanyin, Sandu Shengshu. Oh dear, yes, it is a bit confusing, but it isn't really. If you watch it on, you know, The Untamed on Netflix or YouTube, you will, I mean, yes, there are subtitles, so that does help you a lot, obviously, unless you can translate Chinese. But don't let that put you off, because you're missing out. And there are loads of us international fans. I mean, millions. But well, yes. I think I'm going to need to put another glue dot in this. And I hate that, because the start of a new glue dot is a pain in the batinsky. Let's see if I can just pull this out a bit and really sort of liven it up a bit, make it not squash down. Might help. Yeah. Slightly better. Oh, we've got a click. So is everyone ready for Christmas? Do you partake in Christmas? Oh dear. Oh, I'm so warm. Hot flush. Not as bad as I used to get them. My God. Hot flushes I used to have. Gee whiz. Felt like I was in a waterfall. Oh dear. I don't know why I'm doing it underneath the line. I'm trying to think where he came from. He must have fallen from, oh, maybe that was that one that I put in that had fallen out, that W. Oh dear. Right. Right, I must hurry up and then phone up my daughter and find out what the plan of action is. Right. 1, 2. So I'm going to finish all these off and then I will call it a day. So, that one, 8. And we missed. Yes. It's going to be weird in somebody else's house. That's for sure. I know it's my daughter's. Oh, I can't believe that she'll probably be moving soon. Well, she won't be moving for a while yet. Hubby's going to be going down first, just to see whether he likes the job, you know, while in it. And because they've got to sell their house as well if they do. I mean, it's not too bad because his dad lives down there, that neck of the woods, so they can stay with him while they are finding somewhere. But I'm glad my daughter's adventurous, if you know what I mean. She's always been. I mean, we moved from Hounslow, where I had her, and then we moved down back to Dorset, where I used to live, grew up, and then we moved up here, and then she moved back down to Salisbury or Southampton. No, I don't know, Salisbury first, I think. Then she moved to Southampton. Then she moved back up. And it was nice because she lived with my dad for a while. So that was really nice. And he got on well, so well with her. And she with him. Which I'm really pleased at. It's just such a shame that my son didn't get that chance to as such. But he was much younger. Yeah, so oh dear. I'm sorry, I'm not talking much, am I now? It's because I'm trying to get this done quickly and I'm overheating. And I've got the thirst on me again, so I'm going to have to do my blood sugar again. See where I stand with that. But this pattern is beautiful, isn't it? These were fun. These were all what were they? They were, where were they? Z. They were fairy dust. So that was quite good. So I could use my normal pen for them. But I think I used tweezers like I use for right, that's that done. Right. S. I'll let you out in a minute, Desi. Better go and find somewhere to stop for Christmas. I don't know why I say that, because she always has these loads of houses that she goes into. I just feel bad. This is the one thing about having pets if you can't take them with you. And I can't take her with me because my daughter has a dog, a wooflet. And Desi will be freaked right out. And it's not fair to take her to, you know, somebody else's house. It's only one night. Get you some tuna, won't I, Desi? I'll have to do that on the day I come back. Right, nearly done with the S's, whatever it is. Yes, that's that done. Whoops. Right. Don't like pots with rounded tops. They really annoy me. I have to see if I can get some other lids that will go with these instead. Right. 5. Oh dear. I am so warm. 5. 5. Right. Arrow down. Arrow down and C. Where's T? Okay. An arrow going at an angle. There's K and there's arrow at an angle. Right, that's it. That's all the things I need. So this is C. 1, 2. Oh, and I forgot the L. There it is. Percentage. Just 2 of these I need, I think. Uno. That's it. One. That's quite a nice colour. I quite like that one. A mossy sort of green. Arrow down. Oh, this is that nice green. Nearly done. Oh, look, I missed a C. I have missed... Oh! Fricadillo. Some went on the floor. Oh, dear. Say Liberty. There's a C. C. I'll do that last T. I've got 2 of these. Mustn't forget that one. Oh, I'll get a few of those ones. 1 and him. 2, 3, 4. And 5. There we go. Then we've got a K. Oh, and an arrow. It's This one always seems a bit of a weird one. Well, not many of those in there, is there? 3Ks. These must have been quite static at some point because there's a hodding up fat piece of dryer sheet in here. Right. And the last one, which is plus. 1, 2, 4, 5, and a 4. Let's see if I can get this one. Yay! There we go. That's that bit. Quite nice, isn't it? Let's see what it's like with the light off. Wow. That is pretty. That's pretty. Right. So on that note, I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next one. And I might do a continuation of the Model Zushi. Because I quite like to hear it as well. But anyway, so on that note, please like, comment, subscribe and share. Have I already said that? Don't know, but if I have, sorry. And have a good Christmas Eve tomorrow. I will be up with another video then. And Christmas Day, I've got to do a few to catch up to get in ahead of me. So, yes. So I think this one might be Christmas Day. But anyway, so if that is the case, happy Christmas. And I hope you all survive it. Okay then, see you next one. Bye.